A very good evening to you. Thanks for joining us today on the show. Promises to be exciting as always. I'm Yemi Adebayo.
It's always a delight to have you join us to talk sports in London. I'm Austin Okorakpan.
All right, today, of course, some matches currently going on. FIFA World Cup qualifiers, England and Hungary currently slugging it out at Wembley. We're also going to be talking on the show tonight, basketball, the fallout of what has been made public. The girls talking about things they do not like. We're going to be talking about that on the show tonight. Basketball will feature prominently on the show tonight. We will also be looking at what's happening in cricket. We hope to have a conversation on cricket on the show as we continue with our quest to, of course, get the administrators, newly elected Federation President, to tell us what exactly they're going to do. We will also, at some point, talk about the youth games. Of course, we'll talk about it and how some of the states are preparing the host and all of that. That is the outlook of the show tonight, Austin.
I love it, Yemi. I love it, particularly with the youth games. You know, that's the basic for development right there. And then so it's good to see that states are beginning to take this very seriously. For us, you know, it goes beyond participation. It is about having an opportunity to expose talents, to discover and nurture talents, and at the end of the day, see ways that the country can develop, because that's the level where you can assess development. You also talked about cricket. We'll be talking to the newly elected president of the Nigeria Cricket Federation. It's important, Yemi, that we get this conversation going. Some persons get elected into office, no plans, no goals, no objectives, no vision, and that's why sports in Nigeria, to an extent, some particular sports are struggling. Leadership, you know what I mean? So these new guys that are in, or those that are returning, we spoke to Daniel Igali the other night. Tonight, we'll talk to the newly elected cricket president. Let us know the plans for the federation. Let's see what you want to do to, you know, develop the sport, to give it some following. Particularly, I mean, when you say cricket in Nigeria, someone goes, like, we play cricket, and I always tell people, yes, we do play cricket. In fact, has been played in Nigeria since the late 19th century. We'll talk about that one. You talked about that heartbreaking video that faced on the internet from the D Tigress. I mean, that's not what we should be talking after we achieve the three-peat. And again, it comes back to leadership, because we've talked about these things over and over again, and it seems like, oh, when they're tired, they will talk about it. No, now the girls can't take it anymore, and they have to go do that. And that's embarrassing. That's disgraceful. That doesn't speak well for basketball in Nigeria. And now they've said, if you don't pay us our unpaid, if you don't pay us our bonuses, that you're about the world championships, we're not going to participate. If I hear me, beyond the old monies, they talked about based on care that they did not receive, even while they were preparing for the Afro-Basket, and even when they won. Yeah. It's heartbreaking.
Yeah, it is. It is, Austin. And I don't know where we're going to go from here. Something has to be done. All of these issues, probably they thought it was going to be private. It's not private anymore. The whole world knows what is happening now. And like you rightly said, that's the information on your screen. The Tigress players threaten to boycott future camps. And they've said a whole lot about some of the things that they're not happy with. And of course, we also hope that we're going to have a conversation about that issue tonight as well. Of course, the elections into the Federation will be held very soon. But even aside the Federation, something should be done about this. We shouldn't let this continue, and hopefully we'll get it right, and to the point where all of these things will be a thing of the past. And also, we talked about the video, and I know it's everywhere, but we're duty bound. Because we're duty bound to let the people see it.
So let's let them see it. So when they see it, we'll now leave the discussion to them. Hopefully, after this, we'll get a member of the D Tigress or a former member that is part of this situation. I put a call across to Adora Elono, the captain, and she's busy with her team in Russia. She's traveling tonight. Maybe Thursday or Friday, she will come and they just want to free their, what is all this, you know? Let's watch that video, and then I'll come back to talk about it. Yeah.
First, we want to say thank you to the Nigerian Embassy in Cameroon for celebrating us. We appreciate you more than you know. Other than that, we do not feel appreciated or celebrated after achieving this historical feat. In 2017, we won the AfroBasket Championship, and 3 days later, we were presented to the Father of Nations, Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, and his entire cabinet by the former ministry, Honorable Solomon Dailon, as customary with handshake. We have defended our championship and brought back the cup in 2019 and 2021, which is historical, but still, no invitation has been extended to the team to visit Aso Rock or a presidential handshake. Why?
President of the NBBF, Musa Kita, said that the Federation isn't owing any players, officials, or vendors. This is far from the truth. The last time we checked, our allowances, stipends, bonuses, training grants, and donations made by banks for players, officials, and volunteers still have not been paid.
We are owed $73,118 from the NBBF, $24,000 from the Ministry for the Tokyo Grant, and $100,000 from donations from 3 banks in Nigeria.
Ever since our general manager and team manager resigned, we feel like we're being marginalized. Our senior leadership, like the former president, never really shows up for camps or competitions to boost our morale. And when we have significant concerns and issues that needs to be addressed, when he does show up, we get vague answers, as if our concerns aren't important to him. But when we win, they magically show up for photo ops and celebrations to use for political gain.
The Tokyo 2020 Olympics was full of a bunch of distractions for all of us. We didn't know the final roster until the day before the flight. So our first team practice was in Tokyo days before the first game.
All right, serious allegations, Austin, and I, for one, would want a response to this. Aside the fact that I want this all sorted, it's been made public. So it's not a private matter anymore. There's no house cleaning. I mean, it's out in the open. There's no house cleaning that you can do. There's no damage control. The damage is done. First, I want to know if all of these allegations are true. Then, if we can go past that, what are you going to do about these demands? And for me, there's another issue I'm particularly worried about. Not this, but I know it's going to crop up very soon. We seem to be doing well with the national teams. There's nothing happening here on the domestic scene. And if you have players who are WNBA caliber, other countries can have WNBA caliber as well. So in a way, it is growth, but it's also not growth because you're benefiting from a system that you really contributed nothing to. And that's my worry. But there are serious issues on the table for the Federation to sort out.
It's a lot, you know. I watched that video, Yemi, and my bones were broken, you know. And I was just wondering, like, why do we go through this? After that fantastic performance in Cameroon, win the three-peats, now start getting ready for the World Championships. Remember, I told you on this show that it's not about winning the AfroBasket. It's about what we do after we win the AfroBasket. This is what is happening after winning the AfroBasket. So this takes us back again. You know, it was a very long video. We didn't get to listen to Adora Elonu, who said that if our demands are not met, we're not going to come to any camp for the World Championships in 2022. They stated it clearly. They talked about a lot of monies here and there. The one that even got me talking, they said, where is the $100,000 that was donated by different banks in the country, I think for the Olympics? Where are all of those monies? So accountability, transparency, once again, coming up as part of the problems of sports administration in Nigeria. At the moment, we can't even speak to anyone in the NBBF because the NBBF is struggling to put themselves together to have that election on the 30th. So the Ministry of Youth and Sports Development under the leadership of Mr. Sunday Dare need to step up and address this issue, because it doesn't speak in any way, doesn't speak good to the country called Nigeria. So you can't blame the girls. They couldn't just take it anymore. And Yemi, just try and imagine they were going through all of these mental struggles and they still went on to conquer Africa.
I mean, you talked about the ministry stepping in. There were a lot of allegations to go around. The ministry was not spared. There were some darts thrown in their way as well. So I really don't know. It's messy. It's really, really messy. And, you know, some of these girls, most of these girls really are used to doing things the way it should be done. They're used to asking questions and getting answers. They're used to making demands and the demands are met. Now they love their fatherland, they serve their fatherland, but when they know there are things that they should benefit from and they're not getting those things, they would ask. One of them mentioned the fact that we need a general manager for this team. We need somebody who could be like a custodian for this team. You know, so all of this, a lot of questions that need to be answered. And I'm hoping we're going to be able to sort ourselves out, you know. But the question is, do we really learn? I want to give the basketball authorities a benefit of the doubt. Let them sort out their elections, and let's see where we go from there. But I also have to take it back and say some of those allegations happened under the watch of some particular people. Whether or not those set of people are still the ones administering the sport after the elections, they will still need to answer because it happened under their watch. And so that's it. Interesting conversation. Interesting conversation going on about basketball, and we'll get to it. We're hoping that we're going to be having a conversation with maybe one of the girls or someone who's been part of the team for a while. And so we'll continue, like Austin, like you said, we'll continue. This is not something we're just going to touch on the surface and leave, because this is disgraceful. I mean, there are other words I could use, but we're on TV, and let's keep it simple.
I just have to stay with it's disheartening, Yemi. I started by saying it's heartbreaking also, because these are ladies that we should be celebrating. We shouldn't come back after what we did at the Afrobasket and be talking about this. And somebody in the ministry and the federation knew that these issues were there and didn't do anything. And that's why tonight I want to send love and light to every member of the D Tigress. We love you guys. We appreciate what you did for the country. Despite all of these setbacks, this stayed up there. Yemi gave us champion mentality, went on to break record. Yemi, tonight, these ladies, they've shown us that they are champions, and they truly deserve our salute.
Yeah. I mean, in my book, there's nothing they have done that is wrong. You know, so we have to salute them. I mean, I also have to agree with you that while all of this was going on, they put up a good fight, put up a good showing, gave us that three-peat that we talked about. We didn't hear all of this until everything was, you know, all said and done. Now they're coming out with all of this. So I think there's I mean, the girls we should just leave them. Let the administrators have questions to answer, and I hope they will be able to answer it. Well, so I guess I mean, in the days to come, we'll see what will happen. There's still a lot of basketball to talk about, Austin, and, you know, let's move on the show. If we're able to get that conversation, fine. If we're not, we definitely have to move on, because we have a lot of ground to cover. There's been something we've been talking about for a long time, talking about giving the next generation opportunity, and that's what seems to be happening here. I mean, when we talk about Masai Ujiri, it's not, he needs little or no introduction. He is... of course, somebody who has gotten to the top level in basketball. He's, of course, general manager of Toronto Raptors, also the vice president of the club. And he's in Nigeria with his foundation, Giants of Africa. And, of course, they are helping to build basketball courts around and inspiring the young kids and, you know, 4 courts in Lagos, Austin. This is a very good idea. And of course, I'm hoping that we'll see more stars like him that we emerge from all of the support that is given to development of basketball in Nigeria.
I love it, Yemi, and this is what we should be talking about when we talk about sports development, not what we're hearing with the D Tigers. And shout out to Masai Ujiri and the Giants of Africa initiative for putting this together, and they're starting the right way, ensuring that infrastructure is top notch. You know, going out there to put out codes to encourage kids to come out to play basketball, keep their dreams alive, inspire them, let them believe that they can become future champions. And with what Masai Ujiri has done for basketball and even leading the Toronto Raptors to winning that NBA title, that's the right man to go out there to lead this sort of initiative. And we just want to say shout out to him, and we hope that more persons, particularly ex-players, will come up with initiatives as this to, you know, get kids to play basketball.
Yeah, we hope to see more of that. Let's quickly listen to the Vice President of Toronto Raptors, Masai Ujiri, talk about the inspiration for this and some of the reasons behind this and what he hopes to achieve.
You know, a year ago, a year and a half ago, when COVID the pandemic started, we were not able to come and do our basketball camps. We decided to start a program called Built Within, where we use some of the funds to build infrastructure. I called a couple of our engineering friends, Weber Construction, who's a former basketball player and an engineer, and told him I wanted to build a few courts on the continent. And we came over here, we chose a few sites, and we started a program where we're building infrastructure, going to schools, going to communities, and building basketball courts. It's a challenge for us, it's a challenge for everybody that now we have to invest in infrastructure on the continent, and this is what we wanted to start. Well, Giants of Africa were a foundation, you know, that have done basketball camps, clinics. We've used basketball as a tool to grow and to build. And we're trying to build courts, and this is what we're trying to do. And whoever we can partner with, whoever we can grow with, institutions.
It's a competition, and it's going to take place in Ilorin, and everything is set for that competition to go right ahead. Let's just quickly listen to the Director Sports Grassroots Development at the Ministry of Youth and Sports, in the person of Dr. Ali Durotoye. Talking about the plans for this competition, what has been done, and what to expect at the National Youth Games.
This is the 6th edition of the game. The first one was held in Abuja, and this is the fifth one in Ilorin. So, and we hope that it's another event is going to last forever, because it has been producing champions for Nigeria. I will give you just one example. About 2 weeks ago, the Nigerian team that went to Ghana African Chess Championship under 20. That tournament, we had 3 products of this youth game that attended the tournament. The youngest player in the last edition of 2019 here, from Bayelsa State, Quickpen Deborah, was 6 years old that time. He's now 8 years, and he has won the African champion in chess under 8. Also, we have Isaac Okeke, who represented Ogun State in 2016-2017 edition. He's now the African junior champion now in chess, and is representing Africa in the World Cadet 2022. The opening ceremony will be coming up on 13th of October. For this edition, we have all the 37 states have indicated their interest to participate in this championship, and we have a total of 4,571 athletes and coaches that register for the tournament.
4,571 athletes and coaches registered for this event. 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory also will have indicated interest, and they will participate. And in those pictures, of course, you could see accreditation and some of these things currently going on. Everything begins tomorrow. And if you listen to, of course, what the Director of Sports Grassroots Development at the Ministry of Youth and Sports said, I mean, mentioned a lot of people, one or two people, stories of progression, stories of athletes, young people making Nigeria proud, being discovered from this tournament, and also hoping that, in his words, hoping that this thing will continue to be an annual event so that the youths will get the chance to do what they love doing and represent their country, bring glory and honor to their fatherland. All right, so that's it for the National Youth Games. So, all right, so let's pause on the National Youth Games and go back so that we can have that conversation we've been trying to have on cricket. Mr. Uyi Akpata is back with us, and let's just go straight to it. Let's go. Let's go beyond the formalities now. Thanks for joining us once again. Let's just go straight to it. We said our congratulations, and a lot of people will be interested in knowing some of your plans, for the next few years that you're going to be at the helm of affairs. What are the plans you have? What are the things you hope to do to, bring the game to the level it was pre-independence and a few years after that?
Thank you very much. I hope you can really hear me now.
Yes, of course I can, yeah.
Okay, that's what we call in cricket, maybe rain delay, so that delayed the innings, so the technical
All right, no problem.
But good, we are back on. As you know, the new board, there are more than half of us of the 12 members who were part of the old board. In the last 4 years, we've transformed the game, and the transformation was built on 5 strategic imperatives. One was grassroots development. I hear you talked a lot about that basketball earlier. Our aim is to reach 250,000 new kids across these 6 geopolitical zones every year. Then we have to develop infrastructure. 5 years ago, we did not have any functional grass stock wicket. You can see the back of my screensaver is the first playable one, those states in Benin that we developed that was used for the National Sports Festival. At the end of this year, we'll have 5 in place. And the aim is to be doing 2 grass wickets every year under the new board. The third strategic imperative is around the fact that we need strategic partnerships. Strategic partnership with governments, sponsors, and of course, people in the media will be very important to us because we've managed to build a brand in the last 4 years, is to sustain that brand and take it to the next level. Fourth of those strategic imperatives is around the fact of the quality of our players. We've improved in our rankings in the last 4 years a notch for the men and the female teams. It's now to take it to the next level. We've met quickly with Mr. Sanka, World Cup winning coach from Sri Lanka. The senior team is preparing for the T20 qualifiers. And so that's, and the under-19s, we continue to have that pipeline to develop them in a strong manner. And last but not the least, underlaying all of this, which is very important, is a governance structure that makes sure that we ensure that the sustainable game business of cricket is sustained. So those are the 5 strategic imperatives that we are building on. In each of these 5 are 5 core objectives that we're going to be really driving at. So all hands on deck. We're really moving on, and it's exciting times ahead for us.
All right, let me quickly ask you this before I hand over to my colleague, Austin. A lot of people have said the problem with making young people interested in a sport like cricket is because some of the equipments might be expensive and suitable playing surfaces are not readily available. So what do you say to people who say, well, I love the game. I see it on TV. I see what the guys in Asia are doing and it's money spinning, but no playing surfaces, equipments are not easy to get, and even trainers as well, short in supply?
Yeah, very good question. And as I said, ultimately, it's the whole business of cricket. So that's first aspect of our pillar, reaching 250,000 people. There are different forms of the game. I mean, it's expensive to get a tough wicket, as the one you see behind me. Takes a lot of work, takes back there. But there's softball cricket. Last year, we got 2,000 sets of equipment and 30 to each state. We're ordering 4,000 this year, and it's just going to be a ripple effect of how we do that softball. So from that softball cricket, you now graduate to the harder version of the game. And again, maybe it's because we've not been sort of like beating our own drums or blowing our own trumpets. The reality is that there are more schools playing cricket now, more students playing the game than it was like 20 years ago. So rather than there to be the depreciation, so we're actually getting things more functional. Our female team, when I was playing cricket 30, 40 years ago, there was no female team functional. Now we have over 100,000 people we are wanting to females to ensure that there's excellent diversity when it comes to. So there's opportunities for everyone. And that grassroots, that pipeline is very, very important. I'll tell you some very interesting story. And this is arguably one of the most successful stories. 5 years ago, I was chairman of Edo State Cricket Association. I saw one young lad, Prosper Oseni, hold a cricket, Edo Boys High School at the age of 11. He held a cricket ball for the first time. Today, at the age of 15, is a member of the senior national team and arguably the best bowler in the country at present. That pathway is easily established as way of development. So more people are coming on board. It's for us to articulate all of these, and against those 5 strategic imperatives we work in. So there's even plans too. We have more division, level 1 trainers now. What we have in place, what we're going to have in place, we have a template where we can now have those trainings in Nigeria so that we ramp up the numbers rather than getting foreign people to come in here and we just manage to do 1 or 2 to get the trainings we want, because our massive development is crucial in this regard.
Thank you so much. Let me get into the conversation now, and let me start by saying congratulations on my side. The delayed innings out of the way, and you're running now. Hopefully you will make a century before the end of the show. Let's talk about action. You said that what was developing a good governance structure. Please, could you expatiate on that?
A governance structure where you have the board running like a business is very, very key. What will happen, sending financial reports on time, having the congresses taking place. Let me just use this opportunity to thank the Minister of Sports and Youth Development and the Ministry for conducting what arguably I hear one of the fairest elections so far. It was important that that platform is established as the basis, but we need to still go ahead and enhance our constitution, not only in terms of just getting independence from an election process, as most people think, but that sustained partnership with government. I mean, the minister said something very interesting, and again, I was in on the conversation you had on basketball earlier. You avoid those kind of frictions when you know that whilst you are independent in running the business, you still need to remember that when your players go out there, they are not wearing the federation's colors, they are wearing the national colors. And that was a telling message the minister gave to we members of the new federations that were sworn in. So that governance structure, overall governance structure, that's what also enhances or recognizes that you need to get sponsors. That is arguably the most crucial aspect of it. We will need about 5-fold the number of the funds we have currently to really drive these 5 strategic initiatives under those 5 strategic pillars.
Sounds good. Before I let you go, you also talked about regional development. Sometimes you see the states, they are stagnant, they're not doing anything. How do you intend to bring everybody together to work, particularly with of making a business that you talked about?
No, this is also excellent. The last board, we employed 20, of the 37 states and federal capital territory, we employed 16 in the last quarter. So by January, 37 regional, or what we call state desk officers, will be in place. These are the people who are going to be accountable to driving those regional developments. So our regional reps, I said it at our inaugural meeting of the board, that they are really going to drive things at the regional level. Some of the regions are doing very well, better than others. Southwest, of course, South, which is my primary constituency. On top of the game, we have different things there. For instance, most people would not know that last year, the South held a female league of 8 teams. That is the first in in this part of the Northwest Africa region. And that's received rave reviews. And that region got the award from ICC as the best developing region for cricket. So there are many initiatives. Each region, and we hear the vibes is just strong these days. Everybody is wanting to just move on to the next step. As I said, we are reaching out to 250,000 new players every year. It's been mapped out. And without that regional structure or arrangements, we cannot succeed. We would not succeed. We are even going to the Northeast, where Gombe is coming on board very strongly. And then power states with large populations like Kano and Sokoto, Kebbi, are going to come on board. So it's all going to spread across. I would not be satisfied under my watch where it's only Lagos, Kaduna, and Edo that are thriving.
I want to say thank you so much, Ria Pata, our new president of Nigeria Cricket Federation. All the best with these plans. We, as the media, will monitor, will support you to make sure that cricket is developed in the country. Thank you.
Thank you, Austin. Thank you, Femi. I think that's very important. That's under our third strategic imperative, strategic partnerships. And with the media, especially channels, is crucial to us achieving our core objectives. Thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So that's it, the president of the Nigeria Cricket Federation. It was good we had that conversation finally, and now we have something to hold on to and remind them that, look, you said this, you said that, how are we doing?
Yeah, that's it. It's something that we can hold them on and say, a year ago you said this, then we can easily see if they achieved those things they said they were going to achieve. All right, also, before we go on a break, let's quickly talk about the Super Falcons of Nigeria. A list is out, and of course, 23 players invited to camp, and of course, the usual suspects all in that list. And it's going to be interesting as they prepare for all of the challenges ahead. All right, let's pause a little. We'll go on a break. When we return from that break, spend a few minutes we have to talk about the Super Falcons and, of course, the Super Eagles of Nigeria and other African teams currently locked in qualifiers for the 2022 FIFA World Cup. All right, so that's it. Let's quickly, welcome back. Let's quickly show to you the list of the Super Falcons players invited for the upcoming qualifier. That's it on your screen. Tochukwului, Chiamaka Nadozie, Yewande Balogun. Those are the goalkeepers. 20 other outfield players. And like I said, that's it on your screen. The usual suspects all making the squad. Is out Paradozie, VivianIkechuku, Aziza Toshola, Francisca Odega. I mean, all the usual suspects. The defenders, Olumide B, Glory Ogbola, Sinachi Ohale, all of them making the court in that one. Rita Chikuelu, Rashidat Ajibade, and Tony Oyedupe Payne. She plays in Sevilla. And of course, Goodness Oyebuchi. Those are the midfielders. After the forwards, I already read out the names of the forwards in that squad. So the nighttime African champions will intensify preparations for their Nations Cup qualifier. That's the African Women's Cup of Nations against Morocco. So they will arrive in camp on Sunday. All right. So that's it for the Super Falcons. Austin, we're pressed for time, but it's time to talk about the Super Eagles of Nigeria. That probably will be our parting shot on the show, depending on how far we are able to go. But of course, I want to show to our viewers Nigeria's standing in Group C. Of course, to serve as a reality check. There's nothing to celebrate yet. We have not qualified. We thought after Game 4 we would have qualified, but it didn't happen that way, Austin. So quickly, let's show to our viewers the standing after 4 matches. There you go. There you go. And the caveat under, only one team, and that's the team that finished on top, who advance to the next round of qualifiers. As it stands, the group is still very open. Nigeria, Cape Verde, Central African Republic, and Liberia. 1 home game, 1 away game. We are hoping the unimaginable will not happen. But football has taught us lessons, Austin.
I know, and I said it on Monday with Tayo on the morning show that, look, Nigeria should not be, competing with Cape Verde, Central African Republic, and Liberia. And we're thinking, see Senegal, for instance, they've already, moved to the next round, maximum point. That's how to show superiority, particularly when you're going to that crucial stage. So now they're condemned to win their remaining 2 matches, going to Liberia, and then, the final game against Cape Verde in Lagos. So they need to show that they are the Super Eagles of Nigeria. I said it, and I'll say it again. They still owe the Lagos fans a proper apology by beating Liberia properly, and then, giving Cape Verde the beating of their footballing careers. Because I know football fans, you know them so well. They won't forget. They will keep reminding you. So it's very important that they make them happy again and then qualify.
Let me butt in, Austin. We're going to finish the show looking at other qualifiers. But let me butt in. Some people have said the Lagos fans are a bit harsh. Isn't it counterproductive to be booing your team and supporting the other side? I mean, that's word on the street for some people. So do you agree with those who say, look, Lagos fans should grow up, stop booing these people, support them. You should support them until the game ends before you criticize. What do you have to say to people who tell you things like that?
Well, they still love their Super Eagles. And when they're disappointed, they need to show disappointment. And that's what they did, particularly when it's a team as Central African Republic, ranked 124 in the world, beating the Super Eagles of Nigeria in Lagos, and you don't want the fans to show their disappointment. They will show it. I see it everywhere, when I go to watch football. The fact that the home fans are not, the home team is not doing so well, particularly to a lowly rated team, the fans will turn against you to let you know that, look, they're not happy with what you're doing. So you can't blame the Lagos fans. We saw it also in Benin, what they did with Sierra Leone. The fans also showed that they were disappointed. So it's up to the Super Eagles to win back their love, and win back the loyalty of the fans.
All right. Let's quickly listen to Julius Aghahowa. Of course, we all remember Julius Aghahowa, former Super Eagles forward. Speaking about what should be done. Now, we lost 1-1-1. So what should be done as we prepare for other things that lies ahead of the Super Eagles?
The game we played in Lagos, which everybody was sad about that, and since we were 1 goal down in that game, now we have gone there. We are two goals up, so which is a good thing. I think the players motivated themselves for that game because they know that a lot is at stake. Well, the expectation is always the same. We always want them to do well. We always want them to win. Sometimes if you don't prepare very well, you will never get the result you want. So I will beg the backroom staff, the federation, and everybody involved, in the process of getting the team ready for a major tournament to put all hands on deck. Everything that the players need to prepare should be given to them. And then the player also, the commitment, have to be there. If you are not committed to a cause, definitely you will not get it. It's not an easy thing to bring players together and tell them to do one thing. So it's very difficult. So we need someone who is a good manager to bring them together and tell them what they want and then make sure we achieve it. And then you select the players that will make you to achieve that. So to go into that winning streak, everybody must be ready and be involved in it. So that's my take on it. Definitely we'll go to the World Cup. By the grace of God, we will go to the World Cup. But these things I just mentioned must be done. You know, the dedication of the players, people must be ready to sacrifice for the team. And then the backroom staff, everybody must be ready. The federation, everybody must be ready to do, you know, what the players need, and then we'll all get there.
All right, Julius Aghahowa's recipe for success is what he has laid down. Let's do that, and we'll, in his words, we'll get to the World Cup. All right, as we prepare to wrap these up on the show, Austin talked about some countries that have advanced to the next round with 2 matches left to spare. That's it on your screen. Let's take a look at it. And Austin, that's what you have. Ghana going away to pick points. Algeria, we'll sort that out. Algeria actually went away, scored 4. We'll get that for you. Guinea and Morocco. Morocco currently leading by 4 goals. Togo went away, pick a result. South Africa defeated Ethiopia 1-0. So, Austin, before we go, those are some of the results. Any of those results get you talking? A lot of away wins, by the way.
Yeah, but I think Ghana needed to prove a point with that win, and they did just that. You know, it was just pretty surprising that Algeria didn't get the win away, but they've also shown that they can win on a good day. Basically, I mean, football dynamics in Africa is changing, and that's why the Super Eagles must be very, very careful, you know. And I love the fact that we highlighted it for people to see that it's only the team that finishes on top that will go to the next round. So it means when you get to the next round, it gets tougher. So we'll wait to see how this will unfold towards the Qatar 2022 World Cup.
All right, we'll wait to see how it falls. So that's how the cookie crumbles on the show tonight. We want to thank our viewers for staying with us and enjoying what we've been able to put together in the last 50 minutes. All right, so we're back here again tomorrow to do what we love doing, what we do best, which is taking you on a trip across the money-spinning world of sports. From Lagos, I'm Yemi Adebayo saying bye-bye now.
Let's do this again in London. I'm Austin Okonapan saying in everything you do, remember, keep talking sports. Bye for now.